chat. We are locked in. Getting some writing in today. Today is the day. My fine feathered friends. All right. All right. Stuff all over me. Oh, thank you, Keith. You are also a sexy beast right back at you. Waiting for your wisdom. Gosh, you're in the wrong place. We're going to have a good day today. We're going to have a good day today. Today's the day. Today is that day. All right. People saying good morning to one another. It's all good. All of it. I got some writing to do today. I don't like that guy. Oh no, that's all of it. What am I doing? Ooh. Ready for the long weekend? It's just another weekend for me. Yeah, my wife will be off on Monday, which is nice. I will still be, more than likely, I will still be on Monday, though. Haas says, not really. I've got a lot to do this weekend. Hopefully you get it. Hopefully you get it done, my friend. Hopefully you get it done. What are you cats doing? You crazy cats. Jumping around like lunatics. All right, so that's the wrap-up chapter. So at this point, I'm at 52,000 words, and I know I have about 15 or 16 chapters left in this book. And so my goal today is obviously to write a couple pages. I wrote a page already this morning. I've wrote like 600 words already today. My goal is to break 1,000, but also more importantly, to kind of sketch out the endings for some of these minor characters, if I can. So that's kind of the goal here for the day. Lorraine says, I get here early and you guys still beat me. Yeah, they were like literally, I signed in, Keith a second later, Haas 2 seconds later. I will tell you, though, I have a blueberry muffin to eat today. So I'm very happy with that. My wife ordered some groceries yesterday. She's like, what do you need? Last night I was like, you know what I need? I need a pub sub for dinner. Because she was at her mom's. I need a pub sub for dinner and a blueberry muffin. Give me a 4-pack of blueberry muffins. She got an eight. She got 2 4-packs, like an 8-pack. So, Lorraine says, I'm behind on my reading, which stinks because I was almost finished with book 1 of Memoir of a Monster, but I'm trying to finish up Chuck Will's Widow, home stretch. House says, I spent the last 2 days obsessively going through my manuscript for the first story in my series because I have Lorraine level obsessive compulsive disorder about typos. There you go. And just so you know, you can go through that thing for the next 6 months every day 10 times. There's still a typo in it that your brain will never find. Well, bless you, little cat, bless you. I'm in a good mood today. My wife is back home. She's making my favorite meal of all time, baked ziti tonight with meatballs. And then she's making extra meatballs so then I can make a meatball sub for lunch and or dinner tomorrow. Happy about that. Lorraine says, I'm glad I'm in such good company, Oz. Lorraine, finish writing. You have my blessing. Yeah. All you need is Keith's blessing for anything. How Pizzit? What? Charlie writing weird things. I don't know what the heck Charlie's even thinking. Air fried ziti? No, I wish. How positive we have to be today? I mean, we can be as positive as we want to be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just naturally a positive person. So, I mean, don't go by me. Don't go by like, oh, he's as positive as he normally is. You know what I'm saying? I did make fish fillets, Gordon's fish fillets in the air fryer yesterday for lunch. Though those were delicious. Then I had the pub sub. Today I had a salami and Swiss on a cinnamon raisin bagel for lunch, and now I'm going to have my my blueberry muffin. I've not gotten a golf commercial in almost a week when I'm doing playback, which is weird. Tom says it's been a while since you made your fish sticks on cinnamon raisin bagel, but Shelly did buy me a box of fish sticks, so I do have the fish sticks. I just chose to eat the fish fillets, which was the box next to it, because there were 6 in the box. I did 3 in the air fryer a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, you know what? Let me finish these other 3 before they get freezer burned. But I just ate them. I throw a little lemon juice on them. I was like, I can make a sandwich. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to make a sandwich. He says, I haven't gotten any AI software commercials. That's a positive. Norman, with the cinnamon raisin bagel, they're delicious, Lorraine. Delicious. Cinnamon raisin bagels are delicious. I also had my wife get me some pitas because when I went to Pine Grove Market Deli a couple weeks ago with that filmmaker guy, I got a steak in a sack and a pita. Really good, mouth-watering steak and veggies. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make this for lunch and or dinner for myself at one point. I like pitas. Not cinnamon raisin pitas, just regular pitas. Now we're going to have some of this delicious blueberry muffin. Mm-hmm. 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 Nope. All right. Ritz crackers with butter and paprika is good. Just butter and paprika? Yep, cold butter. No cheese, no meat. Must be Irish butter. It's worthy. Can we substitute cold beer for the cold butter? I prefer Ritz crackers. I prefer cream cheese. Slab of cream cheese on top. Isn't it too early for a beer, Charlie? Not where he lives. Him and the giraffes are getting drunk right now. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Is it though? Yeah, Charlie started at 6 a.m. So technically, quitting time is drinking time. Don't be worried about him. Be worried about the kangaroos. There's Chad. Happy Positive Friday to you. There's already like 37 people in here, Chad. Everybody popped in nice and early. It's great. It is a great day. So it's supposed to rain today. I hope it rains. Let me work on this map for the Neon Owl. I'll send you what I've got so far. Nice. On your key for the map would be like a little poop signal symbol, or that little poop emoji will be an X, will be a circle. What's where the poop is in the parking lot? What symbol did you use for that to show where those things are? Who the heck is this? Somebody out here. She got two big dogs on leashes. She's pushing a stroller with the other hand, and she got three kids on Hot Wheels on what are those things that you ride when we were kids? Holy crap! Big wheels. I can't think. I come 3 kids on big wheels. You got to be babysitting or something. There's no way you got 4 kids and 2 dogs. Troy says I've been getting rained on all morning. Well, that's not good. I'll get right to it, Chad. I swear. I'm almost done with this chapter. I'm an old man, so I got to do this. Do you have a program you're doing with this? Or are your hands just so good? Your hands are just so steady, you can draw these trees and bushes. I like it so far. Good luck with it. Map would be nice. Ryan says we need some rain. Looks like Mississippi is hot. Yeah, thanks, Mississippi. Yeah, it's like we need rain for like, I don't know, 40 days and 40 nights in order to catch up. He says, been rained on all morning and no one to make love to. Poor Charlie. I'm using Procreate on the iPad. Same thing we used to do with all the kids' books. That's how you make kids. You procreate. Mississippi has plenty all this week and all next week. Wow. Mississippi Hogging, the sequel to Mississippi Burning. Yeah. Which is a prequel to Mississippi Queen. You know what I mean? Everything looks so dry now next week. I know. We had some rain last week, and then Tuesday the grass is actually a little high. They came and they cut the grass, but now it has not rained and has not rained since like last Thursday or Friday. So now everything's going to get all brown again. A lot of typing, Tom. A lot of S's. It's supposed to rain today and tomorrow, which of course it is, since I have to change the alternator in the stupid car. Oh, you're going to do it? I thought Jess was doing it. Stupid car. Try as a question for you guys. I'm putting together a short story collection. Do any of you know someone I can get paid to help with the order of the stories? I don't need a lot of editing for the individual stories, just not sure how to put them together. Open it with a Whopper, close it with a Whopper. You got three spots in that book, in that short story collection, that you need to impress. Like Chad just said, the opening story has to be your best story. The last story has to be your best story. And if say you have 21 stories, that 11th story, that middle story has to be like your next best story. You got to break that up. You also break it up any other way you want. I always look at it, I always go, you know what? I'm going to have a longer story, then a shorter story, then a longer story, then a shorter. I try to break it up that way. I try not to have the same themes or genres if it's different themes or genres together. When I do my short story collections, I always put the very best story first, second best last, third, I know it's going to be like right in the middle there somewhere. And then never have like, oh, I'm going to have, if I have 2 zombie short stories in this collection for whatever reason, never back to back. Spread them out equidistant. Keep the people guessing. And then also know realistically you're not going to sell a ton of copies, but it's more for having them all in one place. Okay. Keith said, I'm working on a collection myself and I'm faced with the same dilemma, Charlie. What order to put them in? Chess says the Tigers are losing everything, Armand. Something like 2 wins and less. Yeah, Tigers are I mean, they're making the Red Sox look good, and the Red Sox are doing bad. At this point, we're like a quarter of the way done with the season. It's you, and you got Scooble is out, and you wonder if he's never going to pitch for the Tigers again. Because, the rumors are, hey, you know what? You got to get something for him. He's going to be a free agent. He's not going to re-sign. He's going to get $400 million in free agency. So you might as well get something for him. Keith says, are you needing help with formatting, Charlie? Troy says, I was thinking about opening with the story from my YouTube video today. I think it's pretty good, and it's the shortest story. I was worried about opening with too long a story. Well, he says, I like reading short stories, less time commitment, but often more memorable than novels. I'm still haunted by the Scarlet Ibis from high school. I definitely need help with formatting in the future. Which rolls perfectly into my video of today that I put up about an hour ago, why I read anthologies. So, there you go. And apparently, I charge this. Someone that watched the Sunshine's hot dog lady video spent $104 buying hot dogs that I had tagged in the product section. I was like, all right. I was like, what can I put in this one? I'm not going to put a book. And I would put hot dogs. You can order, if somebody ordered $104 worth of hot dogs from it. Of course, YouTube doesn't pay you for 60 to 90 days once the commission comes in. I think it was like a 15% commission on that. I'm like, all right, I'm starting to make money on products. Ches, I'm starting to seek out a number 2 to root for after the Tigers. Yeah. Tom says, I only read anthologies that only has stories from one author. So collections. I scream and yell about that in the beginning of the video, too. If it's by one author, it's a collection. If it's by many, it's an anthology. I don't know why people don't understand that. Fucking people. People. Your video and Armand's new video on my to-do list for this afternoon. See? Something to do. Trish says, Lorraine, you probably read it from Substack. It's the one about the bouncing baby titled Mama's Secret Game. Chess says, I've seen collections open with their longest story, Charlie. One I just blurbed did that, and I believe King's Skeleton Crew did that, opening with The Mist. Keith can help you format that. There's a guy we know that you don't want help formatting it. Keith's not that person. Keith would probably be good at it. It's the you got to figure out. Obviously, figure out all the stories you're going to put in there, and you got to figure out what the best story you have is. Don't worry about this is shorter. Or worry that it's a good story, because that first story needs to hook. Like that first line of a book, first line of a short story, you got to hook them and have them keep coming back. I worked with, I can't remember what publisher. This is going back years and years ago. I don't think they're even around anymore, and I don't remember the name of them. But I remember they asked me to help with an anthology, and I'd like been publishing like 3 or 4 of their anthologies, and they had a new editor on an anthology. I don't remember what the anthology was. I wasn't in the anthology. A new editor for them, but they had used this. This guy had done a bunch of anthologies. And he basically told me that he literally gave me a thing. He's like, okay, if we have 20 stories and he sent me a list of 1 through 20, and then A is the best story, B is the second, C in the middle, D, E, and he had this all laid out, all 20 stories with the order of them, like where the weakest couple stories should be in the anthology. And obviously none of them should be weak, but his whole formula for that, and I always remembered that. And I'm sure it works. Cases, I'm opening my collection with an essay about cryptids. You better hope it's exciting for people. I think you're right, Chad, but this is also my first book, and I don't want to push it too much. Lorraine says, oh, I love that one. So disturbing. Tom says, there's a guy we know who will hold your book hostage with a password after it is formatted. Yep. And never give you your book and have to upload it themselves. The guy we all know will do a great job if you want to put a second mortgage on your house. Yeah. And God forbid you're like, hey, I found a typo. Can I change this? He's like, yeah, $500. And you still don't get your book back. Charlie says, my problem with picking the best is they're all great. Charlie, your problem is you're so humble. Confidence, Charlie, confidence, exactly. I'll do it for free as long as you promise not to break the spine. He'll probably just want to pay you. Loads of tension because you kind of know but don't know what's going to happen and you're afraid to see it. Yeah, Charlie can't promise that. Charlie can't legally promise that. Come on. Whoa. You ever get the thing where your fingers just keep hitting the keyboard? I'm like, stop. I don't need a W in the middle of mama. Momwa. My wife got this cool thing. She went to, on her way back from Minnesota, she went to Atlanta on Wednesday to a convention thing where they give away a bunch of stuff, vendors and stuff for her job. And she got this solid care for every surface. It's got bristles and a fan on it. It's good for keyboards. I'm gonna use it right now, so there might be some weird typing going on. I can hear all my toenail clippings coming out of the keyboard. This might even clean all the junk I've had. This keyboard, I've had this for a long time. Nice. I'll use it on my face later on. Yeah, pretty good. Oh, that thing works. Chad says, Armand, did you see my post on Facebook, Instagram, and Substack this morning about doing the AI check? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I saw that. Tom says, Chad, AI checkers are never wrong. That's what happens with my pinky finger all the time, Armand. Gross. Where else are you going to put your toenail clippings? Yes, Frank. Happy Bitcoin Pizza Day today? I knew it was a holiday. Yeah, it's exploding, Frank. I'm sure there was a lot of food particles that just came up out of my keyboard. I've had this keyboard for a long time though, because half of the letters are missing. A, completely gone. E, completely gone. I'm gonna take a couple of Aleve though. My shoulder's been hurting me. I slept on it wrong. Yeah, particles, exactly. Particulates. I'm drinking the last of the peach sweet tea. My wife will make more, though. She'll make more. You just vacuumed up perfectly good aged cheese. Probably. There probably was some Swiss cheese in there. Okay, let's talk Shut Up Little Man. Can you get a replacement keys? I'm sure I can. I know where the letters are. I don't really even like I'm looking down, but I'm really like I'm looking at the Logitech logo usually when I'm looking down when I'm typing. I'm usually not looking to see where my fingers are going. I know where the keys are, so I don't need it. I'm not going to buy another wireless keyboard because a couple of letters are missing. Did I hear AHG? You know, I knew as soon as you said it, Tom, Nick was coming in hot. First question, how disappointed were you to learn ultimately Ray wasn't a serial killer? I know, right? I talked to my daughter yesterday. I'm like, you got to watch this documentary called Shut Up Little Man. She's like, what's it about? And then I just started screaming all of the awful things that that they said to each other. And she's like, oh, I'm watching that tonight. And then she watched it. He says, just read your post, Chad. There are a few authors who have discovered they can make more money suing for libel when accused of AI generative use. I thought for sure it was going to end that Ray killed the other guy. Yeah, I was. That's what I thought too. They were insane. Even Tony, little insane. All right, a lot insane. It was interesting how it all played out, though. Great documentary, though. And I just saw it. Somebody had mentioned it, like on a Substack or something. Like there's this old. It's like from 2012, but it's amazing. I've watched it like 3 times already. All right, it says H cheese and toenail clippings, the makings of wonderful conversation. First, I was laughing. I was watching. I had it like turned up all the way, and just the homophobic rants and the profanity. I was just like, oh, these guys are. This is great. Yeah, don't call me good night. he had certain words he used all the time. It's funny. It's like, oh, he was homophobic, but they slept in the same bed. Oh yeah, 100%. He was mad. Ray was so mad because he was also gay. He just wasn't out, and so he took it out on what's his name. He was just so mad all the time. Sometimes I watched the crash about the girl who drove her car into a brick wall and killed her 2 friends and then claimed she blacked out, even though she's obviously guilty. We watched that too. I knew the case. We had seen it on an Investigation Discovery show. So now the update from like a couple of days ago is her parents were pieces of garbage. I mean, the reason she is such a piece of garbage is because her parents are like, how great she is, and she does nothing wrong, and that's why she did this. The dad lost his job. They fired him they put him on administrative leave at his job because of all the negative about him and people saying stuff and him attacking people online that his daughter is innocent and all this other crap. I mean, that's another really good one. Frank, have you seen that one? That's another good one that just came out recently. Those people are just awful. The best friend, she was awful. They're all just awful people. Like people were killed, and all you're worried about is your stupid daughter, who is a killer. What's it called? I was in an ad. The Crash. It's on Netflix, I believe. That's another one. You watch that and you're going to be mad. You're going to be mad at how dumb people are. There's Art. Yeah, that skinny entitled chick that thinks she's all that. I saw a show about her driving in that wall. Yeah. Yeah, they've had it on a couple of them. This is kind of the update of it. And of course, there's interviews with her mother and father who are just awful people. Like at no point are they like, I feel sorry for the two people that are dead. Oh yeah, I saw people talking about that this morning. I'll watch this rainy weekend. Other than the house, I think it is Lorraine, but the first season is the best. Lorraine says, my husband and I just finished the first season of True Detective. Are the other seasons worth watching? Had to do some fast forwarding. Didn't care for all the TNA. I know, not a male problem. Charlie says, True Detective season 1 is my favorite TV show of all time. Yeah, it's next seasons are not as good, but they're good. But the Vince Vaughn one, I was not a fan of. I don't know what season that is. $86 degrees here. What the? The other seasons don't come close to season 1. Charlie says, I think the other seasons are fine and get more hate than they deserve. They're not as good as the first. The problem is you set the bar so high in that first season. One other observation about Shut Up Little Man, zero mention of the Jerky Boys. Kind of felt like a snub. Yeah, it's funny because on a bunch of the things like those prank call things and all those that you're hearing as I'm going through, there's a couple I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, that was an opening from a Dramarama song. They literally used Ray screaming and yelling about something on one of their songs. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Rain says, you're getting Rain too, Frank. What the heck is where's my Rain 2? Vince Vaughn was in the second season, so I wasn't a huge fan of the second season. I just thought that one went nowhere. Chad says, my favorite series of all time is 6 Feet Under. I would have thought you would have said Dallas or Falcon Crest. I never saw 6 Feet Under. Charlie liked it. I'm probably going to do an hour and a half today. I'm thinking hour and a half. I will be here on Monday. I don't know what everybody's plans are, but my plan is to write. Unless my wife's like, hey, I'm off and let's go do something. And then I'm going to go do something with my wife. So that's the priority. Anybody got any big plans for this Memorial Day weekend? We do not. It'll be business as usual. My wife will be over at her mother's on Sunday all day. Tomorrow, I don't think we have any plans. Hoping we deliver this dog back, but I don't think that's going to happen. Ray says, I haven't seen 6 Feet Under. We're always on the lookout for the next best drama. Well, maybe that's it. Or maybe it is right there. Chad, have you asked me anything I haven't answered this month? I'll think of something. Keith says, I'll be home. Maybe I'll log in and see what's what. All right, well, maybe I will see you on Monday. Obviously, if you don't see me on Monday, that means I went and did something with my wife. Tom says, Michael C. Hall's best character was in 6 Feet Under. It's a shame he's known mainly for Dexter. I also never saw Dexter. There's a lot of shows I haven't seen. I'm enjoying this Undercover show from Finland. I'm on the second season of that. Apparently there's 3 seasons and then 2 prequel movies. So it gives me something to watch when my wife's not home. Anthony Michael C. Hall, the bass player from Van Halen, Anthony Michael C. Hall. Dexter has the funniest memes. Monday is Spider Noir on Amazon. I don't even know what that means, Keith, but you enjoy that. The first few seasons of Dexter were good. Didn't care for the later ones or all the continuations they kept doing. That's my problems with like shows like that, like Dexter or any. Everybody's always like, oh my God, this last season. Like I never saw The Boys right? Isn't that superhero thing? But now everybody's bitching how bad this last season was and how the last episode was so awful. And I'm like, well, then why do I want to watch this? I don't want to watch that. Right, so Memorial Day, I'm finally getting treated to a dinner out to celebrate my book launch. Nice. Congratulations. Where are you going? Did you pick someplace nice? Key says Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man noir style. That sounds awful. Nick Cage's Spider-Man noir? The last episode of 1600 made me legit cry more than any other show or movie ever. I can't even hear the music that was playing or think about it without tearing up. Right, it says, tears, now you sold it. She's going to watch it right now. But just the last episode. She's going to start with the last episode so she can get a good cry in. And then she'll start from the beginning. Yes, Nick, I believe so. Tears are falling. Nope. Nope. Man, if I could stop with the typos, I think I'd be much better. Whoa, no. Tears are falling. One of the few 80s Kiss songs I like. One of the few. They're all great. All right, maybe they're not all great. So every Saturday, my wife likes to do housework. And conversely, then I also do housework. But she's at work now. Typos are negative. I see what you did there. She's at work, and then she got to take her Aunt Vicky to the doctor for the 1,000th time this month. And then she'll be home and she'll make baked ziti. She's like, maybe we can get our Saturday work in tonight and then do something tomorrow. And I was like, that's fine. That'll work. But what I'm thinking of doing is after this, instead of going and taking my nap first, I think I'm going to do the dishes and I'm going to throw in a load of laundry. I'm going to try to get ahead of it. Maybe do some vacuuming because the dogs don't like the vacuum. Cats don't care. They just go and they sit in a window and watch. But the new dog is so freaking skittish. Who knows what that dog bark at me or something. So I'll do some vacuuming. I'll do some work around the house before she gets home for dinner. And that way I could say, you know what, just relax, baby. Just relax. Sit down and relax. No. I'll say, you know what I'll say? I'll say, shut up, little man. Oh, Frank asked Chad a question. Now let's see how long it takes for Chad to answer that question. What other 80s Kiss songs do you like, Chad? If that is your name. Charlie says, Tears Are Falling is one of the 80s Kiss songs I don't like. I don't like how they enunciate falling. It's repeated so much I can't stand it. Wow, that's hard. That's harsh criticism, Charlie. Very harsh. Likes to do housework or has to do housework? Yes, Lorraine. She loves housework. I do housework. Yeah, nobody likes housework. Get ahead of it, then you get more of tonight free. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking she walks through the door. She's like, I got to clean off the dining room table because there's always Amazon packages for like the dogs and stuff. And I don't know where any of this shit goes. So she'll put all that away. But in the meantime, she'll be like, oh, you folded all the blankets. Oh, you fluffed up the pillows on the couches. Do I see vacuum lines here? Did you vacuum? You did the dishes? See? And that's pretty much then we're done. I mean, there's really not a lot to be done. There's what is that noise I hear? Is that the washer and the dryer going? See, stuff like that. She's like, I got to do the cat litter. I'm like, yeah, I don't do cat litter. So you're on your own on that. But it says, either way, nothing much is getting done around here. I need to do some spring cleaning before it's fall. Spring cleaning. As a kid growing up, man, that was always the worst. My mother would be like, don't make any plans for Saturday and Sunday, spring cleaning time. I'm like, no. I'm very popular. I'm like, bitch is going to be mad I'm not available. Cling to my jock. That's what us young kids say. Charlie says, I think the Crazy Nights album is underrated. I see a lot of Kid fans put it down because it's too polished, but I think they did a good job. I agree. Crazy, 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 crazy nights. Ooh. Chaz says, Crazy Nights, A World Without Heroes, and all of Kiss Unmasked. Seasonal, not daily. Daily doesn't exist, yeah. So, Chad, those are your 80s Kiss songs that you like? I like a lot of songs off Unmasked, but I don't like listening to the whole album. It's a little too poppy altogether for me. Listen, I love every song off of Creatures of the Night. By far my favorite Kiss album. By far. Do we really consider Unmasked an 80s Kiss album? I mean, I think it came out in 1980, but I consider Kiss 80s anything from 82, Creatures of the Night, and beyond that. I consider Unmasked is still, to me, still an old Kiss album. Yeah. May 20th, 1980. But I don't consider that an 80s album. I still consider that. Yeah, I don't know if I'm really a big fan of any of these songs. Because it did not. Did not do well. For instance, Crazy Nights is a song that got me on the Kiss train. Was gonna argue Unmasked is more 70s sounding, even though it came out in 80. Yeah, that's my thing with it. I'm like, Unmasked, wait a minute. No, that's 1980 technically. That thing was that thing was those songs were definitely recorded in 1979, written. Creature of the Night and Lick It Up are the two albums I'm mostly likely to listen to all the way through without skipping around. Yeah, Lick It Up is also a very good album. Creature of the Night for me is that's the pinnacle for me. Shandy is not an 80s sounding song. Did Jesus Human show his tongue in the Lick It Up video? Yes, like in every other video. Lorraine says, Art, are you following this Kiss conversation? Or are you in the corner with me with a polite discussion about the weather right now? Trey says, I really like Turn on the Night and Thief in the Night off the Crazy Nights album, even more than the title track, even though I do like it too. You know, you got to listen to Thief in the Night by Wendy L. Williams. And there was another song. So Gene Simmons produced that Wendy O. Williams Wow album. And he wrote several of the songs, which became, which eventually just became Kiss songs. Her debut album, Wow. After the Plasmatics. And surprisingly enough, Gene Simmons did all the stuff. So that version of Thief of the Night is pretty good. I liked her voice on that one, actually. I believe there's a couple of other songs on that album. It's My Life, also on that album. She does a good version of that. So if you listen to the Wendy O. Williams, the Wow album, I had it. I bought it. Frank says, I think I missed part of the 80s. Frank says, Lick It Up is a great album, but I don't care for the title track, even though that's a staple in concert. Yeah, it's like you've heard that one a billion times already. So yeah, I don't really consider Unmasked an 80s album, but it came out in 1980. I just want to be able to give Frank some kind of answer. Just hum through it, maybe make a pizza and come back. You having another pizza, Lorraine? My wife ordered some food yesterday, and I made sure French bread pizza was. It just did that. Nice. Gotta love some pizza, though. You know what I'm saying? You gotta. Excuse me. Tristan, I like the Lick It Up song, okay. Not my favorite off the album. I do like how they perform it live with the vocals starting it off. For instance, I do admire Paul Stanley for declaring it's not a crime to be good to yourself. You know what? He's right. Brave, very, very brave. He says, yes, I am on it. Chet says, by the time Unmasked came out, I'd been a rabid fan for 3 years, so I was able to tolerate it easily. Spinach again for all you spinach haters. You know who you are. I like spinach. I added shredded chicken to it. That's nice. That's pretty good. Are you making the pizzas yourself, or you just bought like a pizza and you're like, let me put some shredded chicken on this? Chad says Lorraine is trying to replace our kiss talk with spinach. Tom said Charlie is a rabbit fan after that otter bite. Chad, don't give away my tactics. Chad sounds like you got on board during the disco years. I wasn't alive when Unmasked came out, but my mom was a big Kiss fan, and I got it from her. How old is your mom, Charlie? Should I even ask this question? Am I going to regret the answer? Alive. Get it? I get it. Now I get it. I almost choked on my bite of pizza with that comment, Tom. I guess I'm Charlie's dad. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe I'm Charlie's dad. Maybe we were both Charlie's dad. We were both dating his mom at the same time. Who even knows? I was Frank. I love Dynasty. She was born in 62, so she was a teen in the 70s. So I was born in 69. So, yeah, I remember her. She was an older woman when I was 20. She was older or something. When I was 14 and she was 21, she took my virginity. And I'll never forget her. Don't ask me, they'll make some of us feel old. You too late, Lorraine. I already feel old. Dynasty is underrated except in Australia, where it's still number one on Aussie Billboard. They really haven't updated that Billboard since 1976, though. Let's just be honest. Tell you where I'm not going this weekend, to the beach. Not like I would go to the beach anyway, but definitely not going to the beach. Where it says 1969, great deal for cars and people, and car people, and people cars, all those things. Oh my God, I'm getting so much spam about what Neil Armstrong really saw on the moon is terrifying. Shocking moon landing things. I'm like, what? Why? Where are you sending these? And I keep getting this one too. Dead woman returns with a shocking message from the afterlife. Spoiler alert, it's that Trump is the new Messiah. That's literally what this says. I get this one twice a day now. From Warning for America. Sometimes I hate that the what came next will shock you clickbait is making a big comeback. Yeah, enough of that already. Or, oh, you will not believe number 7. Seven shocking things that you never knew about Keanu Reeves. Number 6 will shock you. For instance, if there's no lighthouse or cliffs, I don't want the beach. We don't have a lot of cliffs here. I'm going to be honest with you. Florida, not known for its cliffage. We do have some lighthouses, though, but... Yeah, what did come next, Tom? Yeah, answer the question. Now you clickbaited Lorraine. You suckered Lorraine in with your clickbait. I don't go to the beach. I'm not a big fan of the beach. I will guarantee you, though, this weekend, Redneck Beach is packed with pickup trucks with rebel flags waving in the breeze and 300-pound women wearing rebel flag bikinis, just walking around. It would be a good time, but I'm not going. A computer virus. Only you have a Mac like me and Chad. Tries to we have no cliffs here either. A few swamps. That's about it. Chad says, "Oh, forgot to mention the NL2 has a subtitle: Electric Boogaloo." I know, Sunset Squeeze. Charlie wants to know when's coming out again, Chad. Swamps are good for atmosphere, but not for your toes. Yeah. They're good for the pythons and the gators. Frank says, "I thought you for sure were going to go with Neon Owl 2. This one is definitely not about poo." Gross is right. There's a lady in the house. Not sure, Charlie. Beginning of next month, probably. If it's not going to be Kindle Unlimited, I will read it. If it's not, I will get to it. All right, so that chapter is now done. Happy with that. Come on, Frank. Lorraine's laughing. She says she's laughing. Really, I think she's eating pizza with spinach and shredded chicken on it. It's what I think Lorraine is really doing. Oh, tired today. I know I got a lot of work to do. Show my wife that I love her. Yesterday, I also sent out 8 short stories. 8. I went through Duotrope, and I'm like, let's see what we're going to send out here, ladies and gentlemen. I said that, even though it was just me sitting here. I don't even think the cats were in the room at the time. But I sent out 8 short stories yesterday to various things. I sent out a short story to Alfred Hitchcock Presents, one to Ellery Queen magazine, They say the return on those are 350 to 400 days average response time. 400 days. It's like over a year. I was like, well, you know what? I might as well send them, see what happens. And then in a year from now, I'll send something else. And I found a bunch of other ones, but I'm like, this is enough. This is enough for right now. Would love to add leeches to a story one day. Should. You should name that leech Frank. Frank the Leech. So yeah, so I think like 3 flash fiction pieces went out and then 5 short stories. So we'll see what happens. I think I have 12 short stories that are floating right now when I looked. I also sent messages to 3 other anthologies or websites and wondered about the status of my story with them. So we'll see what happens with those. If they don't answer me back, I'll just consider that those are gone. I also found an anthology, I forget which one, that has been published recently, and I had sent a story to them, and I'm like, again, you can't just send a quick, sorry, your story wasn't good enough, rejected. You couldn't send that email. Seriously? But is what it is. So Marty Jannetty got his foot amputated, apparently. Yeah, you didn't hear that? Yeah. Old news. Yeah. And who doesn't care? Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels don't care about Marty or his foot. That was my band name in high school. Marty Jannetty's Amputated Foot. We had a lot of hits. We played a lot of school dances. Chen says, one of my best friends just lost his leg this year. He's having a rough time getting acclimated. Yeah, that's gotta be losing a limb has to be a tough one. Shelley's cousin Hunter was born with a deformed arm. It comes to it's like up to here, and then I remember when he was born, they said everybody was standing around and they were like, he could do anything though. He could be on it, and they were just trying to be all positive. And then Shelley's dad said, "Well, he can't clap." They were like, "Joe, why would you say?" He's like, "I mean, seriously, he might be able to do anything. He can't clap." But I mean, he became a pilot. He's an air traffic controller now. Apparently great on a skateboard back in the day. I guess you get used to it. Like we'll for like holidays, like Thanksgiving and whatever. We all say grace beforehand, and we all hold hands, and then whoever's standing next to Hunter always has to say, "Hold my hand," because he can't hold your hand. Trish says, I get mad when they don't send out rejections. I don't like when they don't send out sub confirmations too. So I always, anytime I send anything to them, I always blind CC myself. So it's in my inbox. So I also have it on a spreadsheet, but I can keep track of it, physically see it that way. It's annoying when you have to do a form for it and then they don't send you a confirmation on that. That to me is annoying. Lorraine says, my son's begging to go for a ride, so I guess I'll sign up for now, guys. Enjoy your weekend. You have fun with your son, who looks like... I had it briefly yesterday, Lorraine. I swear I did. I remembered what your son looked like yesterday. No, I can't think of it. I'll think of it next week. Frank says, which would be worse, losing an arm or having a third leg longer than your other two legs? That's a tough one. That third leg would just get in the way all the time. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't, if you know what I mean. I think a third arm in the middle of your chest, though, that would be a pain in the ass. Because what do you do with shirts? Every shirt you got to cut. Trish says, no great loss, but I won't resubmit if I don't get a rejection, and I'm less likely they don't let me know they received it. Yeah, I also have on my spreadsheet, one of the things is how do I do my spreadsheet? I'm going to tell you how I do my spreadsheet, Charlie, since you asked, or maybe you didn't. I do the year that the story was written, because I have a lot of old stories and I want to know. Then I have the title of the story, the word count, the genre, yes or no if I sub the story, where I sub the story, so what the publisher is, the submission date, then I have rejected, and then I have published. So if it was accepted, like for instance, I'm looking at this. So year 2024, Death from Above, 1,289 words horror, submitted yes to Stygian Lepus magazine. Submission date 6/24 to 2025. Then in the rejected comment it says accepted 7/9/2025, and then that whole thing is in yellow. So I know Death from Above, that story, taking it off the board, it's been published. And then a lot of them, if there is like Killer Nashville magazine, for instance, I sent them a story on 3/3/2025, never got a rejection, but that magazine came out. And so I write in the rejected thing, nothing. To me, I will never send them another story because of that. Or like some of them, I will write like Velum Mortis. I just write defunct. But again, they never sent me a rejection or anything. When I sent them a message, Lisa, the editor, was like, oh, yeah, we're not doing the magazine anymore. Well, fucking tell people that. I sent you a story. But I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've had 10 short stories, flash fiction short stories, accepted in the last year, it looks like. So, got to get more of them out there. And I got a bunch of them that are still just kind of hanging. Charlie already has the third leg. It's not fun. Haas says, shoot, my daughter called just as soon as the chat started. I just got off the phone. It was an emergency. What I missed? Did we talk Bigfoot yet? No, we were waiting for you for the Bigfoot thing. We thought your daughter was calling because she spotted Bigfoot. Tom says, I don't necessarily think they need to send out rejections, but they should put a time frame on their submissions that say if you hear back at a certain time, you can move on. Yeah, but then you got to keep track of that. That's a pain in the ass. Is it really going to kill you to literally copy and paste? Thanks for this story. We're going in another direction. Literally a 1 or 2 line thing, and then just send it out. Would that kill you? It used to do that back in the 90s. And we're doing self-addressed stamped envelopes back then. You still got a rejection. Vela Mortis is the funk. Yeah. Lorraine says, ha, Charlie, good one. Couldn't get out of my seat for a second. Bye, all. See you later, Lorraine. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your book dinner. Frank says that's a good acceptance rate. I think so. There is, let me see, 60 stories I have listed on this sheet, and 10 of those have been accepted. And now some of them that were rejected. A couple of them have rejected like 2 or 3 or 4 times. So I think 1 in 6 is I think pretty good over the last year. And again, I got like another dozen of these are still out. So out of those 60 stories, or really 15 of these are still there's no answer for, and the others were just rejected. Trey says every once in a while I'll throw a Hail Mary and sub to the New Yorker or the Strand. I don't get too upset when I don't hear back. I don't think the Strand sends out rejections. I mean, as long as you know they're not going to send out rejections, then you can't be mad. But when there's some that you're not familiar with, and then they're automatically like, yeah, we're not going to waste our time. Those are 3 minutes. I could be doing something else. Tristan, my first rejection was from Alfred Hitchcock Mystery Magazine, and they mailed it to me. That was my only non-electronic submission. Wow. Yeah, like I said, I just put one out to Alfred Hitchcock and one out to Ellery Queen magazine. But I won't hear back from them until next summer, which is crazy. Keith speaking of Bigfoot, I wrote a new short story for the Tall Furry Man. Is that what you call him? Is that your nickname for him? Truly agree on the rejections. It feels pompous and elitist not to. Yeah. And again, this isn't more than a few seconds, Yeah, I'm not too stressed about those, but Jimmy with his WordPress zine that doesn't pay can send a damn email. I agree. Jimmy's a jerk. Does the New Yorker take on Agent in Pieces? Because Frank's got something that he think would be a perfect fit. Shut up, Tall Furry Man. Those guys are great. Tracy, I believe they do, Frank. Unless they've changed in the last year or so. It's called socks. S-O. Right. You can't, because you don't want to just spell it the other way and then have Tom do something. I don't know what he would do. Maybe only a certain time of the year. Yeah. Those are the ones that get me. Like I'm on Duotrope and then I'm looking stuff up and I guess originally my setting was wrong. And I keep looking. I'm like, well, that's closed. So I was like, I went back to the search thing. I'm like, oh, okay, only open. Duh. It's a retelling of socks. Frank, we do not like retellings here. I mean, Haas does. The rest of us, no. So on my Patreon, and I guess then also will be on my Substack, starting next month at some point, I'm going to start a new book. 1 chapter, maybe 2 chapters a month. And I asked Joan McLeod, because she's the only one who really reads these chapters on Patreon, and a lot of people read them at that level, but she's the only one that makes comments on it, that she likes it or whatever. And I said, Joan, give me a genre or something that you want me to write for you to read. And she said, have you ever done werewolves or vampires? And I said, I wrote 1 vampire short story years ago that's in my collection. She's like, I remember that. I said, I don't think I've ever written a werewolf, not my thing. And she said, why don't you write a werewolf? Werewolf. There. Wolf. Why don't you write a werewolf one? And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I will. I don't have an idea for it. I don't know what to do with it, but I'm like, you know what? Maybe I will. So I think that's what I'm going to work on. Not today. Not even thinking about it. I don't need ideas. At some point it will just magically come to me and I'll write a book. And then over the next 4 years or so on Patreon, I will write that werewolf book, which will be good. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm like, listen, I'm gonna tell you what I'm not doing: werewolves and vampires, because that's been done to death. No, thank you. Haas says it's not a retelling. Haas getting all defensive again. It's not a retelling. Frank says reboots. Oh, okay. Robots. Yeah, robots are always okay. Speaking of retellings, Haas, I saw someone on X talking about that book. They did confirm it's a retelling. Ha! Never. It's a true story behind the legend of Beowulf. I will never agree that it's a retelling. Werewolf story about a guy whose wife fosters rescue dogs, and one of them turns out to be a werewolf. Troy says I have a Dogman story about as close as I've come to werewolves. Nick asks, "Did I hear a reboot of Socks?" Yes, it's gonna be. It's gonna be. I am hesitant to say more epic than the original, but it's got to be close. The guy works from home and has to live in constant fear while his wife is away at work. You know that might work. Hans says you're onto something, Frank. Yeah, I'm gonna call it Exploding Werewolf. Lloyd Kaufman still hasn't gotten back to me about making the Sox film version. His loss. Oh, 100% his loss. I think that's the only book of yours I never read or will never read. Right? What you know? You know what? That is true. It's really the only way to do it. Come on, it keeps getting like subtly a little darker out. But give me some rain here, people. Is Socks a retelling of Socks? Obviously. See, he took the core of the idea. I also sent a story to a science fiction story that I've had for a while to Clark's World magazine. They are pretty brutal. He is brutal with his feedback. But you know what? You get feedback from him. I remember I sent him a story, one of my freehold fantasy stories years and years ago, and he said, "I'm guessing you play Dungeons and Dragons because this reads like a lame Dungeons and Dragons story." I was like, "Wow, that was hurtful," but I mean, it pretty much came from a Dungeons and Dragons game, so I mean, I can't argue with it. I discussed that with Lloyd. He felt there weren't enough fluids for a trauma film. Clark's Griswold, yep, that same one and the same. You know that guy don't have a sense of humor anymore. Yeah, they are. I got shortlisted one time at Clark's World that didn't get in. Just got rejected by them a couple of weeks ago and sent it over to Analog. I think I sent something to Analog as well. I sent something to Ellery Queen, something to Alfred Hitchcock, something to Bullet Points, something to I don't know what that one is. Something to Clark's World. I don't know what that one is. I don't know what that one is. Flesh of the Dead. I still got one with Cold Caller from April. I still got some old ones sitting. These writers need more of that harsh feedback. Too much garbage out there. Yeah. Socks is redundantly plural. Frank says, yeah. Yeah. I mean, looking back, I definitely deserved that harsh criticism because it's exactly what it was. It was some stupid Dungeons and Dragons ish thing. My arm hurts. I read another couple of chapters of that book, Chad, about the summer camp thing. I like it so far. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Barbara. I haven't gotten too far in it. I've only gotten I guess 6 chapters. I don't know. That's one of those books where they don't say chapter 1, chapter 2. They just give you a character name. I'm like, this might be chapter 7. So it just says Chad Lutsky at the top. That's weird. It's weird you'd name a character Chad Lutsky. Nobody ever called us out for having baby Jesus appear out of a toilet bowl. As a result, I feel invincible as a writer. As you should. The only person that ever had a problem with it was my wife. She was like, why did you and Frank do that? Don't do that. I'm never going to read that. I'm like, no, you are literally never going to read that. If that was the last book in the world, you are not allowed to read that book. Yeah, Barbara, the punk goth girl. Exactly. Yes. That Barbara. But I've only gotten to the point where they started looking for her. So not too far into the book. It's a big book. I think it's like 460 pages or something. I think I might be like 50 pages into it now. I'll read a little bit more after I do my chores. Hope everybody has a great weekend, though. Hope everybody enjoys, I don't know, getting food, whatever. Memorial Day, I guess we're not supposed to be technically celebrating. We're supposed to be in mourning for those who are no longer with us. But that also usually means hot dogs and hamburgers, too. I think we treat that character with a ton of reverence, so it makes it okay. You think that's the secret? You think that's the secret? Because I don't remember writing that character like that. But you're a better writer than me. You probably wrote Baby Jesus like that as he came out of the toilet for the first time. So luckily, I wrote that with you. If I'd written that with somebody else, it would have been irreverent. Also, I think someone would have to read it first in order to get upset over it. That might be the key. If more than 5 people had actually read that trilogy, yeah, then maybe we would have had a problem. I agree with that. So everybody have a great Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully we'll get some rain. And I will be here. I should be here on Monday. If I don't show up, I don't show up. That's the thing. If I don't show up on Monday, it's because my wife's like, what are we doing Monday? And I'm like, whatever you want to do, baby. My answer is not going to be, well, I have to be on at noon. Nick says, I read it and was so offended I never spoke to you again. That does sound about right. Where'd everybody go? I don't know, but I'm out of here. Everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for hitting the subscribe button. Thanks for watching 33 seconds or more of advertising. And just have a wonderful, safe weekend. Go to Redneck Beach if you can. Keith, you have a great weekend. You know what to do, Keith. Slap that ass.